Hi, this is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com and also healingsuicide.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, an energy worker, a channel, and also a psychic medium. I do all kinds of different healing work, attempting to bring things that are not always easy to understand into concrete terms so you can actually figure out how to live in healthier and happier ways. And while my focus is on evolutionary astrology and helping you understand the soul's journey and how your life is unfolding and what your soul's plan is for you and how all that works and how to make it happen with more ease and grace, I do a forecasting service every month. Now, if you look through my astrology videos here on YouTube, you'll find even a playlist that's subscriber video excerpts. But you won't find a bunch of forecasts because for over the last 5 years, I've essentially condensed it and saved it all from subscribers to my monthly service. So there's a cadre of people who get a full evolutionary astrology forecast for the month on the lunations and the outer planet movements and the inner planet stuff and the transition from whatever sun sign it's in to where it goes when the sun changes signs. And so anyway, I do this every month. We're in, I think this is month 62, so 5 years and 2 months so far. And I love doing it. I'm a very Uranian person, but I don't typically stick to things, except this I love doing, because every month I get to tell you a story, and then as you track month by month by month, that story is evolving because of some of the longer term things that unfold. So my focus with the subscriber service, as far as the astrology videos, is to help you understand how to live during the month, how to understand the energies and what they're asking of you. So if you look through, you'll see excerpts from some of those videos. But today I'm going to do a brief kind of overview, condensed thing about some of these transits that are happening now as a little forecast for the week. So you can understand more about the depth that I go into. And if you want the full story, you can subscribe through tdjacobs.com monthly or yearly. When you do it yearly, you get a month free. So you pay for 11 at once, and then you get the 12th free. If you do it monthly, you can try it out for 1 month as well. So the way I organize those videos are outer planets, and that's called Jupiter on Out, is always video number 1. Video number 2 is the sun in whatever sign it is, and if there's an equinox or a solstice, I include that, and that includes the lunation analyses as well. And then the third, so full moon and new moon analyses, and then the third video is always Mercury, Venus, Mars. And so anyway, I'm just gonna give you a couple minutes on a couple different things so you can kind of see how I approach things and get a feel for it. When I put up the excerpts from the subscriber videos, it always feels disconnected, because I can't put it in context. But here I've just described to you how it's explained and what the point is. One of the big things that's happening right now is Jupiter in Sagittarius square Neptune. Neptune and Pisces. And Jupiter co-rules Pisces, of course. But this is a big deal because Jupiter in Sagittarius asks us to step forward based in a belief. And if we're healthy and grounded, we're evaluating what we believe and why, and if it's real, or if we're just trying to leap, to try to, create a better future so we don't have to feel what we're feeling or deal with what's actually in front of us. As I often say when I teach and do counseling, it's that people will ignore their personal transits. Pluto's square my moon, Saturn's on my sun, but tell me something good about that Jupiter transit next year. Like they'll even put off dealing with what's happening right now with the idea of I want something to be better, right? We want something to be better. So Jupiter in Sagittarius says step forward, right? But it's square Neptune and Pisces, an outer planet. And Neptune is kind of like, the end of the line. As an outer planet, you can't with your egoic personality shift what it's doing. So you have to adjust to it, right? And so Neptune can sometimes feel like a wall you're up against. It might be a soft wall. It might be warm and dreamy and fuzzy and cozy, but it's a wall nonetheless, because there's an ultimate reality, capital R reality, capital T truth, that comes when Neptune and Pisces squares something. So even if you have Gemini, Sagittarius planets right now being squared by Neptune, understand that Neptune is holding space for you to adapt to a higher truth. Well, in the case of this transit for us in the collective, Jupiter in Sagittarius, I need to move forward with this confidence. I need to develop confidence, right? I need to jump. I need to do something. I need to take a leap. I need to do something about my conviction or my belief. In square with Neptune and Pisces, Neptune and squares are about pressure, friction, and telling you to do things in a different way. So if you're leaping with Jupiter, you're finding out that Neptune is saying, wait a minute, is it true? And this is about how we know things. Jupiter says, my gut says I'm right. Neptune and Pisces says there's actually an ultimate truth beyond what my egoic self, what my gut says. So that's an overview that's happening now. Now, Jupiter will go, and I actually offer for sale the Jupiter and Sagittarius analysis that includes this full symbolism of this square, as well as, which is going to go off and on for months. But Jupiter will advance. Anyway, you can get that MP3 through my site. But Jupiter will advance, right, in Sagittarius and move out of orb of the square with Neptune. But then it will retrograde starting in early April through early August, and it will go back to, unless I mix up the dates with Saturn's retrograde. Anyway, soon, in a few months, it will retrograde back, and it will be in square. Then it will station not far from Neptune. So this is an ongoing thing that we're going to be working with. And every month I'm talking about that as long as it's in play in the subscription service. So let me just move on. I'm going to skip around. Yeah, with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, I did post a video the other day, which is a recreation of the subscriber class from last month. Every month, subscribers get a class included with that fee, whether you pay monthly or yearly. And about half, we do about 10 a year. Sometimes I intend to do one every month, and sometimes my life's a little crazy or I just can't get it together. So about 10 a year, and half of them will include mini readings for any subscriber that wants one. You know, 7, 8, 9 minutes, making the topic real, whatever that chosen topic is. So I did a Saturn and Pluto meeting in Capricorn class for them last month. Then I recreated that video and put it up on YouTube. So you should check that out. But I want to be clear that with my analyses in the subscription service, I typically focus on 5 degrees of orb. And right now, they're about 7 degrees, so within 8, and it is active. We are seeing it here in the U.S. We're having all this stuff about the government partial shutdown and kind of what people, air traffic controllers feeling like maybe I need to quit and go on a different career because I can't, do this, and I'm driving for Uber and waiting tables in restaurants after my 60-hour-a-week job just to have some income because I'm not getting paid. The promise of future payment isn't enough. The government needs to pay me for what all that stuff is Saturn square Pluto. So my recommendation is to get grounded, take a deep breath, and understand that the vulnerabilities in systems often have to do with the motivations of the people who manage, create, run those systems. And right now we are seeing, that some politicians here in the U.S., and of course this is a global phenomenon because it's a human thing, are less concerned with human reality and more with this political posturing. So that's happening, but the Saturn square Pluto, Saturn conjunct Pluto is in play. So just be aware of that and check out that other video. Let me scan. Oh, also Pluto's traveling now with the south node of the moon, and Saturn in a few months will be up there as well. And consider the transiting south node as offering us an obvious or an opportunity to see something obvious that we may not like or that we want to change. The transiting north node has to do with an apparent solution to that. So Pluto, power issues in Capricorn regarding structure and government. And here's the deal: who's in charge and what makes them qualified? I was just watching video from yesterday and some commentary about it on some cable news talkie head show of the U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross, talking about, the economic realities of the shutdown and just how out of touch he is as somebody who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, how out of touch he is with how the vast majority of actual people in this country live. And it was just the commentators were flabbergasted and had to watch it again because they weren't sure how to understand how ridiculous it was, the suggestions that he was making. So who's in charge? Why are they in charge? What do you think qualifies them to be in charge? That's a huge theme of the Saturn meeting Pluto and Capricorn, and that's in play. So, so definitely check out that video. Well, we did just have a Leo full moon total lunar eclipse. Let me mention in terms of this actually, because the moon itself was conjunct the transiting north node in Cancer. The solution is Cancer. Caring about people, tuning into what you actually need and what you feel and how to take care of yourself in very real ways, whether that's emotional or regarding food and nutrition, but how to tap into a loving approach to that when you're faced with the stark reality that the people who are in charge may not care about your life. The Cancerian solution is more community, banding together. Here in the US, we've had these so to speak, pop-up or spontaneous food banks come up, and also established food banks getting a lot of traffic from federal worker furloughed or people. Any of those 800,000 people and their families who are not being paid. And so anyway, the Cancerian solution to Capricorn problem. Okay. Yeah, so this eclipse happened, and the way I talked about it for my subscribers is you may feel that need of the moon rise up, but then it's shadowed, right, by the shadow of the Earth on the moon. So it's like a super wolf blood, whatever. Very dramatic sounding, sexy sounding full moon, but if you're a vampire, it sounds very sexy, super blood wolf. Anyway, so anyway, but the lunar principle is quieted because it was a total lunar eclipse. I didn't know what it would feel like, but I knew that the emotions wouldn't be running super high. I expected them to kind of ramp up a little, but then to have some clarity, because then the what's apparent, what's obvious, is in the sun in Aquarius, conjunct Mercury in Capricorn at that point. So I actually had a complete sense of peace and clarity. And it was an amazing window. I just felt amazing. I sat on the floor, and I didn't meditate, but I just sat and I thought about how great it felt to be even keeled. But anyway, that, all eclipses, all lunations are chances to change. With a full moon, we realize we need to change something. With a new moon, we kind of intuit that something can be changed, and we are invited to allow something to change, right? New seeds, new intentions, and allowing things to unfold and birth themselves from this inner quiet place. But with eclipses, I don't emphasize them as much as a lot of people do, but they are turning points because they involve the nodes of the moon. One of the reasons I don't emphasize them super much all the time is because the last one we had was the orb was like a 13 or 14 degrees. To me, I don't see any effect in that. In this case, it was a handful of degrees, under 5 or something like that. And I do see an emphasis there. So the sun was at 0 and the moon and the node was like at 26 or something. So like 4 degrees. So anyway, I don't emphasize it because to say it's an eclipse, astronomically, well, that's a different orb than astrologers would use. I would never use a 14-degree conjunction. Okay. So anyway, yeah, and to contrast that, the Aquarius, I know I said it was just going to be for a week, but I'm jumping around. To contrast that, the Aquarius new moon will be conjunct Mercury and the true black moon Lilith. So the new moon is allowing something to come up right from under the surface, but also you're going to be inspired to communicate, and it's an Aquarius, so you have a different viewpoint. Conjunct true black moon Lilith, your mind, Mercury, linear logical communication and understanding, is working in conjunction with instinct and inspiration, kind of like a visceral root chakra knowing. So you may find new ideas coming in and new approaches to all kinds of different things that you're thinking about. And then I'll just kind of scan the Mercury, Venus, Mars notes. Yeah, at the start of the solar month, Venus has been with Jupiter. And I wrote here, big love, big fun, big dreams, big risk, big pleasure, but it's also square the Neptune. So factoring in that Venus idea to that Jupiter square Neptune, how do I know things? Well, Jupiter in Sagittarius taking risks regarding Venus, relationship, intimacy, openness, money, how you use your time, right? Venus is also self-worth. So can you, understand why you think, how you have a self-image? Where did that come from? And is it ultimately true? during this time, and Venus is setting that off so that relationships may actually reveal that, setting off that square to Neptune. So now this is just a little generic overview to give you a sense of that. But check out the, if you want to know more in how I go into depth over 5 or 10 minutes with any particular topic, the video list, what do you call it, a playlist of the subscriber excerpt videos are there. Typically, every month the subscribers, I mean, sometimes it's 70 minutes, sometimes it's more like 90 minutes between the 3 videos, going through all the stuff, because even if there's not a lot of like outer planet action, I find things to riff on, and I'm a spiritual teacher, and I weave that through everything I do. So I'll talk about how the Ascended Master I channel sees things, and how to understand the larger picture, or why certain scenarios occur, because your soul is having you here to learn how to grow. Life isn't about safety and comfort, but about growth, and sometimes that's painful. So I also weave in all of the stuff about soul. And anyway, so check that out and be in touch if I can answer questions. Right now, the recurring subscriber link, the PayPal link, is not on my site, because I want people to subscribe on the 15th of a month. And then around the 19th to 22nd, whenever the sun changes signs, I release new materials. So like right now during Aquarius, if you were to sign up for on February 15th, you would get the new materials for Pisces when the sun changes signs. So you always pay a month ahead. And what I have is current subscribers all over the month. And it's just kind of annoying for my bookkeeping. So new subscriptions happen on the 15th, unless you're yearly, you can do that whatever. But the monthly recurring payments. And on the 15th of a month, I will put that link up on my site. Now, if it's not, you know, let's say that it's the 21st of the month, and you say, I really want to know the current month, there's a link for a one-time tryout payment on my site that is up right now. So you can do that during any time during the month, but the recurring payment thing is going to start on the 15th for all new subscribers. So thanks for your time and energy. I hope there's something interesting in here for you. And check out the subscription service and everything else that I offer at tdjacobs.com. Take care.